Hey, it's Scott Tempesta from Sailing Anarchy. We're back with yet another one of our retro boat videos. You know, the ones where we go back a little bit in time, show you what the boats were like back then, do our best to explain them for you. If you liked our Santa Cruz 50 Hula Girl video that we did a couple weeks ago, and apparently a lot of you did, you'll love this because it taps in nicely to the ULDB theme coming out of Santa Cruz. It's a slight twist on the theme, but as soon as you hear what I'm gonna tell you, you'll know immediately. Say hello to the Express 37.
1, 2, 3, listen.
All right, this is the Express 37. This boat is hull number 3. They made 65 Express 37s from, I think, 1984 to 1988. They introduced a Mark II version a little later on in the production run. It had a 2-foot taller rig, I think, right around there, and they had a little bit more lead in the keel, so the boat was a little more powered up, yet not so tippy. It's one of the ironies of the Express 37 is really, really, really great downwind boat surfing. You know, much like the Santa Cruz 50, much like every single boat virtually that's come out of Santa Cruz. They're really designed for that. They all just haul ass downwind. This boat upwind had kind of a double curse. It didn't really have enough sail area to get going in light air, but then once it got going, it was tippy. So they tried to obviously alleviate that with the bigger rig, a little more punch in light air, and then the heavier keel. I think maybe 500 pounds more lead. I'm not exactly sure, something like that, to keep the boat a little stiffer so it won't tip over going upwind. But well and truly, this boat was designed to go downwind. And how successful were these boats? And are they to this day? They finished 1, 2, 3 in the 1985 Transpac, and I think that was almost the debut of these boats. And so that speaks volumes about these boats' capabilities of going to Hawaii. Nice and open cockpit, which I think is just amazing. Very easy to move around, no stepping over anything. Really nice cockpit seats, a huge tiller. And one reason why they had such huge tillers, and this is for steering in a breeze, right? Because you gotta man it, you know what I mean? These boats had slightly undersized rudders when they were first designed. Pure, virtually unobstructed deck, except of course the giant ancient primaries here. And oh, by the way, look how cute the little secondaries are. And they're right next to them. It's kind of funny. You don't really see that too much. But again, 1984, when this boat was made, that's how they did things. So that's kind of the cockpit area of the Express 37. Okay, this is the nice part of the boat right here. Look at these side decks, nice and wide. Nothing better than an unobstructed side deck. So many boats have small, they're hard to get around. This boat's really easy. It's interesting because I'm probably now, where's Max Beam? I'm guessing Max Beam's here. This is a chubby little boat. I mean, this is 11.5 feet wide, which is a little bit of a break from traditional ULDB designs, which are narrow. Santa Cruz 50, narrow. Santa Cruz 70, narrow. All those boats of that genre, narrow. Here, I think they tried to expand the boat a little bit in order to get a little bit more volume inside and to make it a little bit more of an upwind boat. Because if you have a little more width, you can get crew stability by stacking the rail with, I don't know, I guess you'd probably sail this boat with at least 8, 9, maybe 10 people. And then you get a boat that goes upwind nicely, in part because of the wide beam. All right, on the foredeck of the Express 37, fairly conventional, right? I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. There's a couple things that are cool about this, however, and I like this right here. Transition from the foredeck to the cabin house. No cabin house to step over, nothing to trip on, just kind of a nice little pathway to get up here. And if you're doing bow on this boat, you know, where you're raising the pole, you know, tripping it, you don't want to have a big cliff to fall off of. So here, you just come right on down. You see one thing this boat's got? That there's aluminum, son. It's how we did it back then. Spinnaker pole, everything about it's conventional. It's the one thing that you wouldn't do if you were building this boat today. You definitely would have some sort of sprit, whether a retractable one on this boat that I'd have probably stick out, if it was up to me, maybe 15 feet, maybe at least 12. So you could build a giant asymmetrical for this boat. Or you could do a prod, like a lot of boats that sail in IRC do, and they just add on like a 4 or 5 foot prod. I don't like that. I personally love the retractable, and if I was doing this boat today and building one for me, and for the rest of you, I definitely have a retractable sprit, a la J boats, a la Flying Tigers, a la Milgus 32. A lot of boats had it, and for good reason. Probably simplifies the foredeck work way more than all this. I mean, I wouldn't know. I've never actually been up here, but they tell me that a sprit's a lot easier, and that would be the one nod to a modern boat that you would probably add to this right here. These are nicely tapered stanchions, of course, but check this out. Built-in Genoa roller, and there's 2 of them on the forward stanchions. This thing carries big Genoas, not like modern boats that carry just non-overlapping jibs. So if you want to skirt the Genoa, these really help the foot come from outside inside the lifelines. Kind of a nice little touch. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about one of the greatest features on this boat. And if you like a nice looking rear end in life and boats, then you're gonna love this. This thing has a big booty, really wide back here. From a design standpoint, it's to give the boat more stability going down the waves. Skinnier boats tend to flatter and wider boats back here tend to have a little bit more stability going down waves, which is what this boat was really intended for. I have to, though, finish up on my talk about the cute little secondaries. They're really not so much secondaries as they are runner winches. And ironically, the boat doesn't have runners. What it has is check stays, where it attaches between the 2 spreaders. And so when you're bending the mast, pumping hydraulic backstay on, those keep the mast from overbending. So when you're bending the mast, you're pulling the masthead aft, and you're also pushing the center of the mast forward. If you have check stays on and you wind them on enough according to the breeze, you can take some of the overbend out of the mast. It's a nice little safety feature, and that's really what these are for. You're gonna use these for almost everything, primaries and secondaries, but these you're gonna use for San Francisco, windier areas. Down here, probably not so much, but that's the intention of this part. What do you say we head down below? All right, we're in the main salon at Express 37. Lots of standing headroom. It is voluminous, to be sure. There's a really neat design cue when you first come down the boat and when you exit the boat, and that is the companionway ladder. It's really trick. It's kind of a visual trick, actually. It's fabulous. It's really nice. Scott, where's the dining room table? Well, my answer to you is, it's on the bulkhead. And that's where you store it when you're not using it. You want to use it, pull the pin, put the leg out, drop it down. You now have a nice dinette for dinner, drinks, whatever. But mostly it's not going to be open. Nobody spends that much time down below. It's usually up here. And what that does is opens this huge area for sail storage. I mean, it's fabulous. You don't have to have sails in the bow. You don't want them stuffed in some locker or in the head. I've been on a lot of boats where the sails are stuffed in the head. This way you can just put the sails here. They're easily identifiable, easy access, pull them right out of there, and it's really roomy, and it's a nice design thought by Carl Schumacher. Very nice. You'll notice it's kind of a center-mounted galley. The sink is over the engine. The rest of it, stove, oven, icebox, all right here. It's all very nice. What they try to do is centralize weight on this boat. Keep weight out of the ends, and there's virtually nothing back there other than pipe berths and maybe one little half bunk that you could use. And then forward, there's actually a V-berth, but it's minimalist for sure. Let me show you a nice little feature on this boat. The nav station. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is really nicely done. Very comfortable chair, good ingress, egress. Again, this boat was designed to go to Hawaii or long distance racing. And so navigation's a pretty big deal. So they made a nice roomy chart table. You got plenty of room to put all the stuff that you want. This boat doesn't have a lot of updated things, but this is a nice workman area for the navigator. Probably if you were going to Hawaii and it was wet, you'd probably put up some sort of curtain here so that spray doesn't come in and get any of this stuff wet. But for the purposes of this and the normal configuration, Really, really nice. Again, if you could just take a look back, here's what they do. They got upper pipe berths. They got a lower bunk here that no doubt has a lee cloth in it so you can stack weight to either side. Open, light, that Santa Cruz theme, right, of minimalist interior. Nice structural placement for bulkheads, but the boat is designed to be light. In fact, this boat actually weighs under 10,000 pounds. The Mark 1s weighed about 9,800 pounds, and the Mark 2s weighed about 10.5. All right, first thing on the forward part of the boat, the head. It's freaking huge. I mean, somehow I feel like there needs to be a shower. It's really, really big. Nice to have a little bit of space. Kind of a surprise. Usually on these boats, any boat like this size that's kind of racing oriented, head's usually pretty minimalist. Hell, I could put my makeup on in there. Pretty damn nice. All right, let's go to the front. Look at this boat. Red velour. Sexy time. It's nice because this boat has a legitimate V-berth. I mean, it's not going to be great for couples because there's a section missing right there, but damn if it doesn't have one. Really, really typical Santa Cruz quality. Nice fit and finish. The wood's great. It's all, I believe this is all Bronzio plywood. I'm not 100% sure, but again, just nothing extra up here to add weight because you don't want weight forward, especially when you're going downwind. In fact, this boat, you're almost always going to want the weight aft in any breeze at all. Who knew? But it's got an actual V-berth. Visually, this boat is really nice. It's angular. There's nothing weird about it. It's a very, very handsome boat. I like it. I think it's a great boat. So that brings this, our 8th episode of Retro Boat, to a close. Love the 37. I think you guys will too. A lot of you have sailed on them. Probably not many of you on the East Coast. This has been primarily a West Coast boat. A few of them have made it to the lakes and a few of them have made it back east, but this is West Coast, sort of personified in a lot of ways. It's ULDB with a slightly updated twist to it. It's a great boat. If you like these videos, click the like button. If you'd like to subscribe, click that subscribe button. And if you want to see the playlist for the videos that we've done up to date, just click right up there. For Nobleman Productions, for Sailing Anarchy, I'm Scott Tempesta. We're out.